Are you ready, Roy? I was born ready. Ha 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 ha. That's where my brain is at these days. Someone asked me, "Well, what are you gonna do? In these next few months as the world is on fire? Uh, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do the same thing I've been doing. Watch it from afar, comment on it, and go to sleep at night. Eat some. That's all. Whatever, man. You know something? People have flipped out. You should be flipped out. And last week, I talked on the show that Putin was going to have some kind of thing go on 420. If he was in step with history, I figured something significant was going to happen. Yesterday was 420. Lo and behold, they launched his new hypersonic. ICBM has that test with 12 individual warheads and made outright threat to the United States and to others, anybody trying to aid the Ukraine. So this is he's a two-dimensional creature. He's displayed that all along, and he operates on this level of, I'll make my declaration and the following day I go and do this. So he's going to back up what he said because he doesn't have to launch a full new nuclear strike against a NATO country. He only has to launch a little bitty nuke, a tactical nuke, against Kiev or something like that, and boom, to show the world that he's serious, that he is ready to use nuclear warheads, that he's ready to attack people, and that's going to shut down a lot of these people yelling and screaming. I'll tell you this, in my humble opinion, the whole thing was handled wrong. And I'm not trying to be armchair quarterback or any other stuff, but in the world of dealing with power, you have to know how to embrace it and use it. And if something's coming at you that is an unbelievable amount of power, and you yourself can't stop it, even if you might be able to throw it down, slow it down, but at what cost? At what cost? And I'm watching the Ukraine just get leveled, 2,000-year-old cities leveled, people's lives destroyed, what the carnage of war, not including the atrocities committed by troops and or other people on either side. It's not lost on me that there's a mentality out there that's playing to the media, and the more carnage the media sees, the more outright support and outrage they're going to get from the people out there who are witnessing this. In the beginning, when Putin had his whole tete-a-tete, when he said, I'm amassing troops and all this other stuff, and Zelensky knew what was up. Zelensky should have just taken some suitcases full of gold and money, gotten on his private plane with his woman, his kids, whatever the hell he has, his people, and had gone somewhere to another country to rule in exile. And the people in Ukraine, it wouldn't have been the division, it wouldn't have been the raw, outright carnage that you're seeing now, unless that this whole thing is a ruse, and it's really Putin who's trying to draw the world into World War III. So in a chess game, that's where he's at right now. He had made his statements. If you go and help these people in any way, I'm going to release nuclear warheads and holy hell and whatever what they say, right? And then here we are. So uh, I can definitely make the case that if it wasn't for United States weapons, if it wasn't for NATO getting involved, then Russia would have achieved their goals by now. Plus you have Ukrainians who have no problem, you know, fighting, and they're supporting each other in this, but it's also to a degree of their destruction. I'm watching how do you even repair these cities? How do you even get past that in the future? Sometimes when these things happen, you have to kind of bow to that power and work it out politically over time. And then, 5, 10, 15 years, you have that different leadership. When it comes a grudge match between two people, this is what can happen. But that was then. This is now. We're going forward. And going forward means here in the United States, you have a president who, I don't even think the guy knows where he is most of the time. There's things going on inside of him, a lot of confusion, and he's just too aged, too feeble to handle this job, in my opinion. Like I said, my humble opinion. But you don't have anybody backing him up. You really, you have a party that gained power through a lot of games, lies, deceit, and whatever, and they did everything they could to get Trump out. But the sacrifice of that was our democracy. You know, they encouraged people to do terrible things, right? And now you see the results of that. Oh, there's crime waves going on, and then it's such a teeter totter of justice. It's sickening what's happening, really, and it's it's bad. It's out of control. So you have that, but on the world stage in world politics, when you look at world leaders, they're everywhere. I mean, what do you got? You got Macron in there in France. You have Boris Johnson in England. Boris Johnson, even though a lot of people in England definitely have their opinions about the guy, seems like he's at least somewhat centered in the politic of right and wrong. But what can they do? What can anybody do? You're talking about people testing the waters politically as time goes on. You're talking about Russia and China looking to see what they can engage in and what they can get away with, and who is not willing or capable of stopping them. You know, there's also don't so I mean, in this stage, there's going to be what I like to call the accidents, right? The accidents. So I shot a missile into your territory, NATO, and blew up something important. It was just an accident. I mean, and then the other side will be like, "Oh, it's okay. We understand. It's collateral damage, whatever." You're going to start seeing these things. You're going to start seeing different types of terrorism. I wouldn't doubt that there's going to be terrorism going on in St. Petersburg and in Moscow, because these are the things that are being created. The type of hate that you need to stir up in someone to really rise to that, or even, I don't know, rise is even the word, to get to that place where nothing else matters but revenge. We have seen this in so many different countries, so many different times. People blaming other countries for what goes on there. You can have a country and then have two opposing sides there killing each other, and you step in and stop them from killing each other, and then they want to kill you because you step in and stop them from killing each other. So in humanity, there is still uh, uh, this need to be primitive, right? It's a need. Humans are very simple. Need sex. Sex sells, sex in TV, sex in movies, sex in commercials, sex, right? The big booty and the big whatever. Oh yeah, feminist groups are out there saying, don't exploit women, don't objectify women, and then everything you see, every commercial or the person is in the music video or whatever. Oh no, here's Britney Spears getting naked again, taking off her top, celebrating freedom. It's a mixed message for people. Then people don't know how to act and react, and then for this short time, they have given this extreme leftism this right away, where anything goes. And oh, if your feelings are hurt, then they got to prosecute you and put you in jail or kick you out of college or whatever they don't like. Or there's a certain speaker coming to the campus, and then a small group doesn't like them, they're going to shout them down and get them out or even use violence. That's not the way freedom works. That's the way oppression works. That's fascism, if you want to get technical, right? And you want to live in a world of being told what to do. No, not the ones who are doing it. They don't want to be told what to do. but they want to tell other people what to do. It's like the mask people, right? This has become a sore spot for me. Now, in a public health emergency, when you're instructed to wear a mask around other people, it's two pronged. One is to keep droplets out that can make you sick. And it's also, if you have it, keep the droplets in to a degree, so you don't make other people sick. Right? It's become a thing where you have this, there's this division, right side, left side. Whatever piece of meat's tossed in the middle is what they fight over. And it could be vaccines for COVID, it could be masks and that type of thing. When you're at the doctor comes in wearing a mask, right? In an infectious situation, you don't want to catch anything from the doctor, from the nurse, from anybody working in these places, especially, I mean, it's not the podunk back in the day. The doctor comes in, barefaced, and same for the nurse. I mean, maybe you still live in a situation like that, but in a high volume place on any kind of hospital, any kind of healthcare center where they have people moving in and out, it's prudent to wear a mask because you don't want to invite anything inside of you that you don't want there unless you want to get sick. So the mask protects you to a degree. A degree. Same for the vaccines. You think the vaccines are 100%? We know they're not because you see the numbers out there. But it protects you to a degree. So you know what the vaccines do is what they do. The vaccines help your immune system identify the protein spikes on the cells, which is what COVID has to bend into a certain shape to get around the cell. Then it plants its protein spikes and then it replicates, right? So it's not that the vaccines are the super potion that's going to, you're going to get it, it's going to protect you and seek out and kill COVID. No, it's just, it's like sending your immune system to school, taking it to school. So when they have a what they call a booster shot, which is really a third or fourth dose, you know, these are also in line to alert your immune system of the newer variants of what's out there, right? But the people that have the vaccine, for the most part, don't get as sick as the people who don't. And also, you have to look at the rate of reinfection, what comes down the road. There are people that have already had it multiple times, and they keep putting themselves in environments like that, So there's that going on. And then on top of that, you have a society sick of COVID. They're sick of war. They've we haven't even gotten to war, but the prices at the pump and the prices in your pocket. When you have these limousine liberals, hey, I'm ready to pay the price for the Ukraine. Listen, you speak for yourself. I'm not rich. You know what? You speak for yourself. I mean, I didn't instigate this fight. I'm terribly sorry about the carnage and the innocent people, loss of animals, you name it, man. Whatever's alive over there getting flattened. It's terrible. It's terrible. I didn't do it. It's not my monkey. It's not my circus, but I see what I'm paying. I see, you have this fumbling administration on top of the war thing, on top of the COVID thing, on top of this, that, and the other thing, whatever. But really, when you see the price of food going up, 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 and then you have Biden himself saying there could be food shortages and whatever, that's not the speech of a reliable commander in chief. That's the speech of just some bumbling buffoon who doesn't know how to manage anything or do anything. You don't have it. You just have people that wanted to win. They didn't have a plan after that. Their plan was to blame the other side for stuff, and they can't do that. They try. They try, you know. But hey, you know what? For a while I didn't have cable because I just kind of exist through Wi-Fi, and I have my Roku and I live through that. But where I am, there's cable, and then I've been flipping the channels. That's all you do with cable is flip the channels around anyway, right? You don't watch anything, and the horrible drug ads that they put on there that just is a downer. and so, but then you got like Fox, and CNN and all the other rag channels. They're horrible. They're not, it's not even news. It's cherry picked news designed for the audience that watches that channel. And if you have that, hey, if you're an anti-masker and you don't believe in vaccines, you're watching Fox. That's your channel, or if you believe Trump was the devil and Biden is Jesus and whatever, then you're watching CNN or you're watching MSNBC, where I can't even believe the stuff that comes out of their mouth. I can't believe the stuff that these people say that that they actually say it and believe it. They believe their own stuff. Or when they say these things, they're like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but ha ha, ha it's so funny. I don't know, you know. So then, they got Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp going after or Amber Heard, his ex, because of stuff that she said in the media that she was abused. She apparently didn't name him, but he said that it did and it affected his career. So he's suing her for 50 million. She's suing him for 100 million. I don't know if how long you guys listened to this show. It was a while ago where they had gotten divorced and it was $9 million payout to her, where she said she was going to donate most of the money to charity and there'd be no other problems. So now you see 50 million, 100 million. You see where that goes. And this is something against marriage itself. It's a bad deal. It's a bad business deal. No honest business person, level-headed business person is going to look at that deal and say it's a good deal, you know, because it's not. Anyway, I have not been married. No, thank you for asking. Because it's a bad deal. You know what I mean? I got bored with the idea after I was over 30, and then when I was younger there was somebody I really cared for, and that didn't work out, so I was just whatever, man. And one of my friends said that I wasn't the type to get married. He's like, "You're not the type to get married." I didn't know what that means. I know what it means now. So, but Johnny Depp. So you're watching two Hollywood turds going at each other. Two Hollywood turds in the same toilet bowl swirling around. That's this thing. This is what Fox is broadcasting during the day. With all this stuff going on, all this news going on, all these things that'll affect you every day, your pocket and your future. No, don't talk about that. No, talk about two Hollywood turds in a toilet bowl, you know? She hit me, I hit her. The dude Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp. Do you recall ever striking Amber Heard? I don't recall. I have a bad memory for that. And he has a bad memory for that. But he could tell and descript his childhood from the time that came out of his mother's vagina, to the daily life. And I watched about 15 minutes worth of it just so I could talk about it. And this dude had recall like you wouldn't believe, except for the other stuff. But yeah, they were both in a vicious relationship. She's one of the person she hits people, or the people around her says that she strikes out, hits people. It's become okay for women to hit men. It's a-okay. Nobody does anything. Oh, now you see these influencers on that the YouTube, not YouTube, the other one, Twitter. Yeah, they're on Twitter too. No, social media, we'll say, Instagram and all that. They're stabbing each other. Stabbing. Girl killed a dude. Now they're saying it's self-defense. Easy to say. The guy's dead. And what happened? They said tumultuous relationship. They'd be hitting on each other. The police are there multiple times. Then do something about it. But this is what I don't care that they're suing each other. They're both the same to me. Both the same. But it's the reaction that's also interesting. Oh, he said he got hit and beaten up by her, but he's a man, and whatever. What does that mean? What does that mean? So what? He's a man. The very same people that will condemn all that stuff about men and say, toxic masculinity and all that are the same people that say, oh, but he's a man. So what does that mean? You're supposed to just take it, get beaten up on? The men that do, because especially years ago, men didn't come out and say, hey, my woman hurts me, she beats me up and whatever. You know what I mean? So some people can't keep their hands to themselves. Some people are violent, they do that type of stuff. But it's become acceptable for women to do it, even if they're in groups of other women and they talk about it. Oh yeah, my boyfriend did this, so I I punched him in the face. or I did this to him, or did that to him, or cut up his clothes, or some kind of overt act of hostility, and the other ones cheer them on. You go, girl. Oh, you're so bad. Last week I talked about these women who are coming out calling themselves batshit crazy, and then how other people have to accept them because that's the way they are, and then they don't want to be the good wife, they don't want to be the good girlfriend or any of that because they're batshit crazy. Well, and then these guys are coming out saying, "Oh, I don't want to deal with that. It's too much drama, and I want to ease your life." Oh no, then you're evil and you're horrible and you hate women because you say that. That's what this world has become. The second you state your opinion, there are people out there that will just levy all of these names and codes and stuff on top of you. They'll label you and this and you're that. And you know what? When people do that to me, I tell them all the same thing. And it shuts them down right away. Now, you can't even shut them down any faster than this. You're this and you're that and blah, 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 blah. You know what? I don't care what you think. And I don't know why you think anybody else does. You know? Don't care what they think. They're not worth it. They're not even worth the thought. You're going to spend the rest of the day thinking about what horrible things people said about you. Hey, man, been there, done that, and then you come to a conclusion. You know, uh, when I say things on the show, it's mainly from experience. So when you get to a certain place in your life, you feel like you know something. And I'm the same age as all those other dudes were who told me stuff when I was 17, and I didn't listen to them either. So there. I said, "Oh, look at them." But they knew a hell of a lot, and I didn't. Now I know a hell of a lot, and young people still don't want to listen, man. I'm just gonna say, don't get into a bad business contract, whether it's marriage or not. But guys get into they get, let's just say, they get in over their head, and they fall crazy in love. I'm in love. Oh, I have to marry her. I'm so in love. I love the feeling of being in love. It's actually a toxic thing that happens inside your body. I love the feeling of love, but I don't like the outcome. And then it doesn't last very long either. You know what I'm saying? And once reality comes in, you're sober again. That's what it's like being drunk. you know, you're drunk, you're vaggy drunk, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day, that booze wears off. Then you see what you're dealing with. Oh boy! And then they say, "I'm pregnant." You're like, "Oh God, oh God." You better get a decent job because I like to eat a lot. And you're like, "Oh man, I don't want to have sex anymore. It was only for the baby." How many friends I have that tell me that's why I'm laughing in between, because I have a lot of friends who tell me that story, about what they thought they were getting and what actually happened. I don't know. Are people even suited to get married anymore? At one time it was the hunter gatherer and whatever, and you had a symbiotic relationship. It's not like that anymore. I'm single. I have Wi-Fi and I order Instacart, man. You know something? It's a different world, and you can go out and do whatever you want to do and hang out with who do you want to hang out with. You can date who you want to date and whatever. And then after that first few weeks to a few months, and that thing goes awry, you move on before becomes too attached, like like mold. You know what I mean? Don't get mold in there. Very hard to get out. So that's what I'm saying. Is that you can be anybody and be as stupid as Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and attack each other and do all the things. Plus they're rich bastards, so they live on a certain level where they get away with stuff. I mean, they get away. She like cut his finger off, the dude. He was showing people in court. His finger. But this is the law part, all right? I'll tell you. I'll release the lawyer inside of me. He's claiming that because of stuff she said in the press, he lost movie deals. All right, let me tell you about this dude, and that he had pissed away all of his money, and it was her fault. Let me tell you about this dude. He's been in court for a couple of years with his managers and also agents and all that because he's been plowing through his money, not making any money. The movies he makes, even if he gets a huge hit, is few and far between. He still has to pay a huge entourage, plus his agent, plus his manager, the whole management company, and all the other stuff that goes along with it. It's not exactly a windfall. I mean, yeah, sure, it can be, but I mean, they still have to support a lot of people. He's not necessarily crying poverty, but his management company says that he is. So then came the whole Amber Heard thing, and that was going on the whole time, But he's claiming that he lost movie deals because of stuff that she said. She didn't mention him in these articles, apparently, and she just said that she was in an abusive relationship. Now she's in court talking about these things and attacks and whatever, but he has allowed this process to happen like that with his lawsuit against her and then her lawsuit against him. Can he prove that he lost work because of her? I don't think he can. And his career is already fizzling out. I mean, nobody wants to see Johnny Depp anymore. He was really relevant not long ago, and then now he's kind of faded away. I see the movies he's in. And I don't watch the movies. I see like the coming attractions. They're really low grade, horrible movies, and I think he's actually a pretty good actor. But I think he's kind of run the gamut of all he could possibly do in Hollywood for the person that he is and the talent that he has. So that's just my opinion. But to prove that it's malice and what you said affected his career, it's going to be a long, embarrassing road for him to go on because it's truly going to show that he's just another one of those guys that's fading out. Fading out. When you fade out like that, you got to go out with dignity, right? You buy a farm somewhere, you grow your own, you have a great life, maybe raise more kids or become the crazy cat man, whatever the hell you like, you get away from the world, you shut it off. You have your own little thing or some little town, maybe get involved in a theater group or buy a little theater in a town and do that type of thing. And then every once in a while, somebody will call you for a cool movie. You have a little part in or some kind of big deal, and you'll come out of retirement and they'll be like, "Oh, look at this dude. He's looking pretty bad." But I mean, the guy's all about drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol is not a healthy situation. You know what I mean? So anyway, these guys are battling each other, and this is what they're putting on television. And they have everybody. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I heard hadn't even nothing to do with the case. It was more about him talking about himself and this and whatever. And I'm in the world of I don't care. I talk about it here because this is my vent pipe. This is how I get all my crap out. When my sister's just like, you seem pretty calm for somebody who should be having a nervous breakdown. It's always nice when someone said, "You seem pretty calm for someone that should be having a nervous breakdown." You know why? Because whatever happens in your life, you gotta let it go, man. You can't wallow in it. You can't worry about it. You can't sit on it. You just have to deal with it as it comes. If there's a flood, you got to be the tree with the deep roots. If someone's taking an aim at you, you got to get out of their range. You know what I'm saying? There's just things you need to do, to survive in this world and not let the other humanoids drag you down and get you down. Like Mike Tyson, you know, I crack open the paper today, not the paper, my laptop, and it tells me Mike Tyson beat some guy up on the airplane. And then I'm thinking, what's up with Mike? I know he's in the marijuana business now. He's got his Mike Tyson whatever gummies. uh, I don't know. There's just something about that. It's just kind of off. Mike Tyson. I mean, who would have gummies like Dr. Phil? Dr. Phil gummies. Don't get mad. Take my gummies. And all the gummies that look like Dr. Phil. That bald head, the mustache. Don't get mad. Take my gummies. Call them crazy pills. Take my crazy pills. You know what I mean? That's my Indian name, Crazy Pills. If you want to find me out west, you look for Crazy Pills. Have you seen Crazy Pills? Oh, he's up on the mesa. Yes. Yes. Crazy Pills. So here, Mike Tyson repeatedly punches airplane passenger in crazy video. So Mike Tyson appeared to attack a fellow passenger, Tyson, who had boarded a Florida-bound plane from San Francisco, which is a flight. I mean, that's not some quick trip, right? Is said to have engaged with a fellow passenger prior to the incident. Uh, a witness told the gossip site the former heavyweight even posing for a selfie with the guy. So Mike Tyson on a plane, first class, posing with a selfie. Here comes a guy. He's a crazy fan. Crazy fans, you gotta treat them like they are crazy fans. You don't invite them in and you don't hang out with them. They're crazy fans. Thanks for watching and move on. I I do this sometimes. People are the ones who recognize me from those wanted posters and so you know. So and Mike Tyson probably has a zero tolerance level, and unless he's eaten some of his gummies, he's probably in that zero world. I'm in that kind of world too. That once you tell someone to back off, if they keep on, it gets more irritating. But I'm not reactionary like Mike Tyson, and not a Golden Gloves boxer like Mike Tyson either. The passenger is also seen chatting animatedly. He was animated behind Tyson's seat as another passenger films the exchange. Things took a turn for the worse, however, when Tyson apparently grew agitated with the passenger who had failed to leave him alone. The former heavyweight champ then delivering a series of blows from his seat. You think there was a bell that went off, like the pilot went ding, 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 ding. And Tyson just got up and started pummeling the guy. I told you to shut up. How many times did I tell you to shut up? Shut the fuck up, you fucking son of a bitch. The guy's got his phone. Oh my god, I'm getting beaten up by Mike Tyson on the airplane. It's so cool. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he had a barrage of punches. He hasn't lost it. Yeah, the guy's pretty up there in age, man. I think he's my age, as a matter of fact. He hasn't lost it yet. And this dude looks like the kind of guy that would bother you. You even see his face, man. He look all sad in this picture. He's crying. His shirt's ripped. Oh my God. A source close to Tyson claims the passenger was extremely intoxicated and wouldn't stop provoking him, resulting in an onslaught of punches. At that point, Mike Tyson should have been like, Stewardess, come on, this man's bothering me, and I paid a lot for this seat. You think take care of this now? I'm gonna punch the shit out of him. I'm gonna be all fault. I'm gonna sue Delta. Okay. Yes, Mr. Tyson. Whatever you said, we'll take care of it. Mr. Tyson wants a pillow. Just something about a pillow. Okay, give him a pillow. I didn't say pillow. I said this. Well, okay, Mr. Tyson. Tyson walked off the plane just seconds later. Per the witness, you think I had like his fists up in the air. The dude, the ramp guy comes over and holds his fist up in the air. Victory. The passenger, who is seen with a bloody forehead in the footage, received medical attention. He said, the one guy's like, my boy just got beaten up by Mike Tyson. The passenger filming the ordeal apparently said it from behind the camera. Yeah, he got effed up. The passenger who sustained the injuries is said to have gone to the authorities as well. He went to the cops. Tyson served time in prison, beginning in 1992 after convicted of rape. And he was sentenced to 6 years behind bars, but served less than 3 years and was released in 1995. Mike Tyson, look at him sitting here. Tyson's all smiles. I bet he's like a nice guy. You meet Tyson, he's all smiles and whatever, but he's like a pit bull. Start poking him in his balls and expect him just to be Mr. Docile. That's a very liberal way of looking at things, man. You got to think about the other side. He's probably not high on gummies. He's going to kick your ass. With his boxing career behind him, Tyson has taken on a more mellow public persona with an admitted devotion to marijuana. The 55-year-old is launching a cannabis company with a wrestling legend Ric Flair. Ric Flair and and Mike Tyson with weed. I don't know if that's the label that you want. I like my Dr. Phil idea. This week or Flintstones gummies. This week's incident comes just weeks after Tyson announced another overzealous fan at a comedy club, with the former fighter remaining calm and even hugging the admirer who had a gun during the exchange. He pulls a gun on him? What was all that about? You hear about that one. Uh, Tyson, Mike Tyson. That's interesting. You know what? I don't know how nice I'd be. Well, I guess if they had a gun, you got to be, got to be a certain degree of nice. You know what I mean? Let's see. So, I mean, he held it in for this guy. I guess the guy's on a plane. He didn't have a gun. It's time to beat someone's butt. Get. He probably like did that for the last one too. It kind of held it over. But let's see. And had a gun. I'm trying to find the story. Let's see. Of course not. Of course not. At a comedy club. Who brings a gun to a comedy club, man? Comedy's getting dangerous these days. you know. Yes, man. You don't expect to be killed at a comedy club, do you? That kind of just takes away from the whole comedy thing. Here it is. You hear about this crap. Ugh, come on, get off of there. Get out of there. I'm not signing up. I just blocked you. Mike Tyson kept calm during a near disaster when a man pulled out a gun at a comedy club after getting kicked out by the host. Tyson was out at the Los Angeles Comedy Club to show when tensions escalated between one of the showgoers and one of the featured comedians. Mm. So I guess, you know, I guess you got to be armed. I think that if you're a comedian, Aziz or one of you guys, you're gonna have to start wearing bulletproof vests up there. You got that Pete Davidson, or you got the Kanye threatening him. But that's not random. In the world of randomness, that's not random. At least that's because one guy is pissed off the other one. No, there's a world of randomness, though, and it's a special order. You think that it wouldn't be because it's random, but it's really not. But let's talk about Bill Murray. Talk about being random. Now, Bill Murray is an institution unto himself. Very successful. I think that everybody knows his name. He's definitely an interesting character. Always has been, always will be. Is funny no matter what. Even when he tried to do serious films, it came out very funny. So, which didn't work for him too well. So, Bill Murray's making a movie. I just talked about Aziz, and Aziz was one of the guys who is in this movie, and I think he's directing it or wrote it, whatever. But Bill Murray is in a professional purgatory filming of the 71-year-old Saturday Night Live Legends upcoming movie, Being Mortal, has been suspended after a complaint reportedly filed specifically against the actor alleging inappropriate behavior. So I don't know the specs of the complaint, and you don't either, unless you're some Hollywood insider out there listening. But it's interesting how a whole production can be shut down because of what they said was something inappropriate from one of the actors itself. Right? That's just interesting to me that that happened. So it must be pretty severe for them to shut the whole thing down. And he must be pretty important to the production for them to shut the whole thing down. A multi-million dollar production, right? Anyway, this seems kind of weird. So the bombshell was dropped last week, and production was temporarily halted on Monday, according to Deadline. On Thursday, however, the film was ceased indefinitely amid the investigation into the Ghostbusters stars on set actions. After reviewing the circumstances, it had been decided that production cannot continue at this time. Searchlight Pictures wrote in a letter issued to cast and crew, "We are truly grateful to all of you for everything, all the time that you've done for everything all the time." You've put this into everything you put into this project. All right. Let me see. Let's see. Principal photography began last month on Being Mortal, which was written by controversial comedian Aziz Ansari. I don't find him all that controversial. You know what? Him, Seth Rogen, these dudes, they're all about the penis humor, the pee and poo and penis humor. You know, seventh grade, sixth grade type of material. If you're trying to make someone laugh with a cheap joke, you know what I mean. No offense, you guys. If I ever see you out there in any comedy clubs, no offense. The Post has reached out for a comment from representatives for Bill Murray, Ansari, and Rogan. Now, Bill Murray strikes me as a guy who doesn't give a crap. You know what I mean? He's so unbelievably successful. You know, he doesn't have to make movies anymore. He's just out there, probably killing the time or staying relevant. You know, and it's a nice check on top of that, right? So Murray is one of America's most beloved actors, but the Groundhog Day star has a long history of making enemies on the sets of his TV and film projects. Back in 2000, Murray famously fell out with co-star Lucy Liu while filming Charlie's Angels, with Liu claiming Murray made inexcusable and unacceptable comments to her on the set. He probably told her she was a terrible actress because he's honest, you know? He's honest about things. You know what? I like it. I like all these people who say they have a problem with him because these people are the most difficult people in Hollywood in general. But they all seem to have a problem with Bill Murray, who is mainly easygoing until you bring him to a certain point, like Mike Tyson. Then Bill Murray gonna work you over in first class. You know what I mean? So let's see, Charlie. So they don't say what the inexcusable and unacceptable comment. That's BS. You need to say what it was. Then people. Otherwise, you know, see that's the game they play. It wasn't something that was terribly bad, but it was something that inexcusable. And how dare you? So you let people guess at what the most horrible thing that Bill Murray could have said to her, which is that she's a bad actress. You know, Charlie's Angels co-star Drew Barrymore also addressed the incident last year, saying what really happened was Bill was just you know, comedians can be a little dark sometimes, and he just came in a bad mood. That's kind of wife you want if you're going to get married. It really is. Well, you come in with a chainsaw and, oh honey, what's going on? Okay. Ah, your voice is so nice. I love listening to you scream. Ah, it just makes me feel so good. Drew Barrymore. Oh my god. Don't he's just in a bad mood. That's funny. Maybe he's in a bad mood, so she's applying the excuse to him, right? Meanwhile, Charlie's Angels director Mick G additionally claimed that Murray headbutted him on the set of the action flick. Well, it's an action flick. Of course, you got to headbutt the director. You know, he said, "Square in the head." McGee told the Guardian. Square in the head. An inch later, and my nose would have been obliterated. This guy's got dreams of what would have happened if Bill Murray's skull was 1 inch over. Obliterated, like Mike Tyson. You know, he hit me square in the head. All right. Murray vehemently denied the claim. He said that's bullshit. That's complete crap. You can just picture him saying it with his face, right? That's bullshit. That's complete crap. He responded to the interview with the Times of London in October. I don't know why he made up that story. He has a very active imagination. Well, he's a director. Elsewhere, Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss, also a guy who had difficulties with everyone. Go back even to the Jaws movie and all that. This dude's hard to work with. So Richard Dreyfuss described Murray as a drunken bully. He's a drunken bully. who allegedly threw an ashtray at his face when they worked together in the 1991 film What About Bob? I remember that movie, and I would have thrown an ashtray at him also. He put his face next to me, nose to nose. He screamed at the top of his lungs, "Everyone hates you." He screamed. Bill Murray screamed in Richard Dreyfuss' face, nose to nose. "Everyone hates you. You are tolerated." Oh, oh my God. I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face if Bill Murray did that to me. I'm sorry, man. I'd be laughing my ass off. I'd have to I don't know, send him an entertainment fee or something. That's just too funny. Dreyfus recalled the incident in the Yahoo interview. There you go. I'm being interviewed on Yahoo. Let me share my Bill Murray story because I'm not relevant anymore. There was no time to react because he leaned back and he took a modern glass blown ashtray. That's interesting. He noted it was modern glass blown, not made in the mold or anything. He continued, he threw it at my face, only a couple of feet away, and it weighed about three-quarters of a pound. That was exactly not a quarter pound more, not a quarter pound less. It weighed as much as three McDonald's quarter pounders. Yeah, but it was an ashtray. And he missed me, and he tried to hit me, and I got up and left. He's got a bad hand-eye coordination, Bill Murray. Meanwhile, the film's writer and producer Laura Ziskin told the Los Angeles Times in 2003 that Murray made threatening comments to her also. Ziskin once said that a disagreement between them resulted in Murray tossing her into a lake, although she called it playful. He playfully pushed me into the wood chipper. You know what I mean? Bill threatened to throw me across the parking lot and then broke my glasses and threw them across the parking lot. On another occasion, he threw me off the top of a building, then bumped me off a balcony on the cruise ship. There's some pattern here going on, I think. Back in 1978, Murray infamously got into a physical altercation, of course, with Chevy Chase. But Chevy Chase, another guy, is known for being a dick. Of course they're going to get into it. You have two titans against each. I don't even like Chevy Chase. And that other girl, I didn't know who the hell she was. I know who Bill Murray is, though. And I'd love it if he screamed in my face. It'd be funny as hell. Maybe one day. I don't know. Let's see. Live from New York, an uncensored history, of course, that goes after him. Began with the two trading insults. Murray told Chase to go have sex with Jacqueline Carlin, Chase's then wife. When Chase childishly retorted that Murray's face looked like something Neil Armstrong had landed on. Ooh, going after the zits. Ouch. Because he does have a crater face, man. It quickly escalated into a physical dust-up witnessed by cast members Jane Curtin, Lorraine Newman, and Gilda Radner. Awesome, man. Awesome. I wonder if they have it. I think they have it on film somewhere. He also had a physical altercation with longtime friend and director Harold Ramis. On 1993 Groundhog Day, Ramis allegedly grabbed Murray by the shirt collar and threw him against the wall during a heated creative dispute. I'll tell you, I'm not going to make excuses for people's violent behavior, but look at the dudes in Pink Floyd, man. You know what I mean? They hated each other, but made such great music. There's something to that. Let's see. Here we go. Ramis's daughter, Violet Ramis Steele, who was irrelevant, wrote a book. Oh, she's the one who wrote that. So who knows what even happened, man? Wouldn't speak to her over 20 years because she wrote a book and said nasty things about him. And said her dad tried not to take it personally, but whatever. I don't care. Whatever. I'm gonna file this under. I don't care anymore. So all I'm saying is that no matter, there's people out there having problems on all kinds of levels. Even Bill Murray, man. We don't have time for anything else, but I wish we did because I got some cool stuff to talk about. And also J-Lo, champion for the poor, who likes $10 million rings and just moved out of the $55 million Bel Air mansion into a $165 million mansion. There's always these people, man. And Amy Schumer making her way around about trying to keep Will Smith's slap relevant. It's very funny. but also Will Smith's wife, Jada, coming out that she never wanted to marry him. She was forced to do it, and then she cried. She didn't want to do it. Whatever. See that, dudes? That's what marriage gets you. So I'm gonna end the show on that note. Thank you for listening to the Red Pill News. I will see you guys next week on this here show. Have a wonderful evening. Put your seats in the upright upright position and don't bother Mike Tyson. I'll see you guys later. Bye.